I believe world peace is possible in our lifetime. And I don't just believe it, I know it. And I don't just know it, I am it. And I've spent 44 years researching into the human problem. What is it that makes us want to war against one another, fight against one another? I've researched and I have the solution, and it's all captured in the book. This is the book, let me call it the manual, the peace manual. I've outlined what it takes for us to have world peace in our lifetime. Do you believe world peace is possible in
I
our life?
believe world peace is possible.
Do you believe?
Sure, I believe world peace is possible.
Well, I have friends who also believe that world peace is possible, and would like to discuss why it is possible, how it is possible, what to do to make world peace happen. On my left is,
Joseph and Kafui Tete.
are you my wife?
No,
Tete of another,
Mr. Tete.
under Mr. Tete. Look, you saw Mr. Tete, and every Tete is a Tete, isn't it? And
Fred Ebeneku Enim.
Fred Ebeneku Endim. He's a human torpedo. You see his gentle, quiet face until he starts spitting out the fire of enlightenment. So, the program is world peace in our lifetime. World peace, whenever I have made a statement that world peace is possible in our lifetime, I meet with frowns, skepticism. How is it possible? Because we're hearing the wars all around. You turn your radio, your television on, and all we hear, conflicts here, conflicts there. So we're focusing on the conflicts, and nobody can believe that world peace is possible in our lifetime. And this is where I dare challenge the thinking processes of humanity, and to let you know that world peace is possible, and not only possible, I have researched and I have found what is needed. In fact, everything we are experiencing today in life was once impossible until somebody dared to look into the face of impossibility and asked, if it were possible, what would it be like? That's all we needed to ask. But no one had dared to look into the face of impossibility and ask. Today we fly a whole village with cargo in the sky. Years ago, if you were to tell somebody that we could fly, the person will mock at you because even a feather would fall on the ground if you were to leave it up there. But somebody dared look into the face of impossibility and said, if we could fly, what would it be like? And today, we are flying a whole village with their cargo or 10 times their cargo in the air. So everything we are experiencing today in our human inventions have all come from the realms of the impossible. Today, holding in your palm, you can see living entertainment in living colors. Years ago, it was impossible. Today, it's a possibility. And I have also joined the group of the people who would dare look into the face of the impossible. And I'm looking into what appears to be impossible for the possibility thinkers. And today, I can clearly tell you that in the manual known as the World Peace Manual or the Peace Manual, I've outlined what it takes for us to have world peace. You see, I find it very strange that at the core or the heart of everybody, we are all praying and crying for peace, meaning that we already have peace within us. You cannot desire what you do not know.
Yes.
So if you're desiring peace, it means that you already have peace within you. So all there is for us to provide what is needed for you to experience what you can feel within. Something, the image, the idea of peace is in your soul. It's crying, it's seeking a voice. And all that my manual does is to provide the three things needed for us to experience world peace in our lifetime. Let me make it very snappy. The three things we all need are a vision of world peace, to create a vision, a global vision, an appealing global vision of world peace that we can enroll everybody in. And then two, to create a character or build a character of world peace. Once we have the appealing global peace for world peace, then it is easy for us to create the needed character for us to enter into peace. And the third is for us to school our senses to know how to appreciate the oneness that animates, or the oneness that is the life of all the diversities that we see. As we carry on, I will explain this. But if you were to speak to any counselor about your life wanting progress, I believe one of the fundamental things the counselor may lead you into is to have a vision of your ideal life. What does your future look like? In what way can you be helped to see the ideal life? When it comes to peace, everybody has given up already because we are looking at a spot on the paper. I do a workshop, and what I normally do is to show them a plain sheet of paper. I say, what do you see? They say, a white paper. And I draw a small circle on it, and I say, what do you see? They say, we're seeing a black spot. I say, is that all you see? Yes, a black spot. See, look again. Is that all you see? A black spot. I say, but don't you see the white space around the black spot? If you will really calculate clearly, you will agree with me that the number of people in conflict or war on the planet will be less than 1%. But we are focusing on the 1% and ignoring the cry of peace in the 99%. Those who have to some degree even experienced it. So, this is why I believe that world peace is possible in our lifetime. And I've developed the tools needed for us to experience it.
Good. Well said, Bra Ishmael. You outlined the 3 keys to world peace, and these are expanded in a 30-page document. Couldn't it be an oversimplification?
Well, the truth is that the causes militated against peace are so simple that we've ignored them. We always believe that peace is a future event instead of us creating peace from within as a culture. So the manual has really made it so simple because it's actually simpler than we think. Having world peace in our lifetime is simpler than we think. That's why it's all been encapsulated in the 31 page manual. And the manual is actually giving us the outlines of what it takes. And then based on those outlines will come the needed tools, the application tools, which have all been developed. And I trust that anyone who wants to partner with us will partner with us with funds. We need funds, we need some specific people. The manual outlines what is needed. So when it comes to the application of what is needed, that's where probably the manual can grow in other ways. For example, when the manual talked about creating a vision for world peace, it also provided us a framework. I have this vision for world peace. My vision is that of a unified world in which everyone is a catalyst that is activating and promoting the innate good in one another. You see here, I can see a world that is possible, a world in which everyone is looking for the good in another human being. And if you see it, you promote it. If you don't see it, you dig it out. You find out that in what way may I bring the good out of my brother, out of my sister. Such a world, as you can see, that vision alone can bring us to peace. But once the world enrolls in this, there will be the need to expand it. That's my vision of world peace. It suits me and my community. And we may probably need to ask ourselves, is it okay for those in America, in Russia, in India, in China? So as we keep developing this vision, we will soon come to a global appealing vision. But my vision is very appealing to me. A world in which we are all excited about the good in one another. Wow. We are bringing the good out of one another. We are in competition as to how much good I can bring out of you. Wow. That's the world I see as the world of peace.
That sounds beautiful indeed. Having created your own individual vision, seeing a world where each one supports each other. With this manual created, who are you targeting to be partakers of this manual and peace program?
The whole world. I'm talking about world peace in our lifetime. And let me give you a definition of peace. Peace is not the quiet of the graveyard. Peace is not a state of being passive. Peace is the activation and free expression of your innate potentials. And what everybody wants on the planet is the unleashing of their potentials. You go to school because you want to have knowledge to enable you unleash your potentials to serve life. So at the core, we are already craving for peace, meaning we know it already. But most of the potentials are to serve our human flesh needs. We have ignored a portion of ourselves. Without something in me, I cannot move my hand. We call it spirit. And then we all feel. So we all have feeling bodies. We all think. We all have thinking bodies. And when we are creating potentials, we're only looking at what to bring from within to serve only our material. We do not ask for what will serve also my emotional and my mental. So the manual helps you to find this. And as you will agree, everybody in life is looking for the unleash of their potentials. And we define peace as the activation and free expression of your innate potentials. If you do not activate your potentials and you see others expressing theirs, you feel cheated, lost, confused, left out. This will cause internal confusion, giving birth to external confusions, conflicts, and wars. If you are able also to identify your potential but cannot freely express it, you feel choked, hemmed in. This will cause internal confusion, giving birth to external confusions, conflicts, and wars. So the problem about peace is not the confusion we see outside. It's about the confusion we experience inside. And that's what the manual addresses. And most people are talking about peace from the external instead of from the internal. So we've missed out on what it really takes. That's why it sounds so impossible. But we are looking in the wrong direction. And for so long as we look in the wrong direction, and we do so for 10 billion years, we'll get it wrong.
From this definition, Fred, what do you think? It looks like his overly ambitious peace campaign that you sounded could be attained easily, because if it's an individual thing and it must come from the individual from within, it can be easily identified and handled. As opposed to what is happening worldwide, people seeking to attain peace all over. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I think also that whilst we are looking at world peace, we can start targeting specific individuals and groups that can promote this. Because for something to work, there should be some people to blaze the trail. So we can identify key institutions, for instance, the UN, or certain individuals, certain political leaders who would run with this vision and then help us to expand it. So whilst we want it to reach the world, it would be great to have certain identifiable groups and individuals supporting us.
I agree, and that's why I said it's for everybody. Everybody means the UN is included. And in fact, the manual actually talked about the UN and what is missing. Without the UN, there probably would have been more chaos and confusions on the planet than we are experiencing now. However, the UN itself has lost touch with what it takes for us to have peace. The UN is the biggest world peace treaty body on the planet, because almost all nations are part of the UN. But within the UN itself, it has got what I call the virus that sabotages it. For example, the Security Council. So if UN says we are not going to fight Iraq, and one of the Security Council members says vetoes it out, then it means then that it will go and fight. All right. So the UN, you see, peace treaties signed by people who are filled with fear and anger, it's like the creation of time bomb. And UN as a peace body now has become like a multifaceted time bombs which detonates at various times. So with the UN still there, we're having the Iraqi problem, the Iran problem, North Korea, and all over Afghanistan. All these have been happening with the UN still there, because it is not addressing the the inside of the people writing the peace treaty.
Okay.
Right? So, yes, the UN is doing lots of good job, but the UN, for example, has not got a vision, a global vision of world peace that nations will subscribe to, and then the people of the nation will also key into. So if we don't know where we are going, we shall arrive nowhere. So the world has not got a vision of where we are going or what is even possible. Once we have a vision of what is possible, there will be excitement to, oh, I can have it. Oh, this is possible. Let me do something about it. You raise your children towards a world that is possible. You want your child to grow to become a medical doctor, a scientist, a historian, a poet, a musician, for some vision. And when it comes to the world as a body, it looks like there's no vision. We all need to ask ourselves, what is the world that we want to have? Everybody must answer this. Then what is my nation, the nation that I want to have? This will begin to birth the vision. What is the family that I want to have? What is the me that I want to have? Will even give you a personal vision. And once your vision is beautiful, it inspires you to take the needed action, develop the needed characters for you to arrive there. When I say world peace, often we look at it as the whole globe. But you see, we are living on the planet.
Yeah.
But each person has his or her own world.
Yeah.
So I have my world, you have your world, and we are all on the planet. So world peace is saying you must experience peace in your world, in your lifetime. And when you commit to experiencing peace in your world, in your lifetime, I'm committed to experiencing peace in my world, in my lifetime. Using the 3 steps outlined in the peace manual, you will experience true peace, and then by multiplication, we have got global world peace.
Wow.
So world peace in our lifetime means you in your lifetime. Because my lifetime may end tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yours may be 10 years' time. Yours may be 100 years' time. Have you planned to experience world peace? To experience peace in your 100 years life? What are the plans? If you don't have a vision of world peace in your life, if you don't have the character that will enable you experience it, and if you don't have the schooling of the senses, which I believe I will explain in due time, schooling of the senses, but the senses alone. You want me to take you to the senses? Wow, it's a whole knowledge.
So to emphasize, these 3 things are the core items that constitute your new message of world peace.
That is it.
Having a vision for world peace, building a character for world peace, and then schooling the senses for world peace.
Certainly.
Good.
And each of us can develop the needed character. But if you don't have the vision, you cannot develop the character. And when it comes to the global world peace, it's much, much easier for us to experience it. But like I've said, we are all having the peace already within us. You know, today on most computer games, you create avatar, an image of you that will play the game. In the creation of the avatar, you choose your particular hair color. You can have blue hair on one side, green hair on the other side, or whatever. Type of eyes, type of eyebrows, type of beard, type of clothing. So you've created a character. Today, if we were to have the needed input, such as the anthropologists, because then the storytellers, the stories must be told to fit the culture. That's where the anthropologists will come in. So we need anthropologists, storytellers, educationists, psychologists, app developers, and so on, which are all outlined in the manual. We bring them together. We can create the needed psychological elements that will mean that I'm having the character of care. If I put this plant here, it's the character of care. If I put this plant there, character of joy. And then my character will become an image I'm looking at in the game. Now, if I keep focusing on my good character for the ideal world, I will soon become it. And is this easy? So these can become games already we are doing these games so we can have it all in our games, apply them, enjoy them, and then when I send you, like Bitmoji on our phones, we have them now on our phones, so I create a character and I send you a good morning message with my character. You are focusing and say, oh, Brother Ishmael has the character of joy and character of care and character of counseling. All right? So you are even confirming and affirming me. And because I know you know me for something, I will want to live up to it.
Sure.
Give the dog a bad name and hang it. Give the dog a good name and it will live up to it. Today, instead of this, we are living in frustration like it's not possible. It's easy for everybody to give up. Excuse my language, every foolish person knows how to give up. There's nothing special about giving up. So frustration is not an option here for us. It takes courage to say, no, I won't give up, let me do something else. So we can give up on world peace, or we can dream of the possibility of world peace and start creating the character for world peace. And I was going to speak on the senses.
Yeah, before you go there, then again, character formation is something that we know happens during childhood. So, and most people are adults now. I mean, how can adults now go back to form new characters? Is that easily done?
I believe you are a psychologist. Yes, and you know that if we can create a character and focus on it for a period of time, it looks like psychology, you say 21 days. But in my science, we say 30 days. 28 days for women. Well, I am a universal citizen. I come from Africa, and nature is my teacher. Africa is the mother of the world. Maybe that's why this peace message is coming from Africa to mother the world towards peace. The mother always knows, right? So in psychology, you say 21 days, practicing something, you'll be able to adopt it as a character. I say 28 days for women, because women see their menses every 28 days, and the moon goes around the earth every 28 days. Men need an extra day, so 29 days. So ideally, 30 days. And every season lasts for 90 days. And then there's an exchange between winter and spring, and then spring and summer. So I go further that if you want the character to become your natural way of life, do it for 90 days. So is it possible then to win the world to the ideal character in 90 days?
90 days.
Wow.
Yes.
It looks like Brother Ishmael has it all up his sleeves. World peace is like he's experiencing that inwardly now.
Yeah.
And it sounds so intriguing. But Brother Ishmael, world peace is the cry of every human being on this planet. And I can tell that probably you're already enjoying peace in your lifetime now. How do we assess this manual that would start all of us living this joy you're living already?
Peace and the quest for peace is very important, that we don't have to play toy with it. So the manual is available and free.
Wow.
You go to our website, wellpeacenourlifetime.com, and you download it. We also have got a petition there which we want to present to the UN and other international targeted bodies so they can partner with us, so we have the needed resources. You know, during the Iraqi war, the civil war between 2003 to 2010, the US alone spent about, I think, $11 billion a month in the war. If we will have 1 month's money, we should be able to change the whole world. 11 billion every month for 7 years. Can you imagine how much was spent? And we can, with half a month's money, I believe, transform the world. Because all we need is available. State-of-the-art technology for promoting your message is today available. All it needs is the resources to create the needed character and to school the senses. And the manual also teaches you how to school the senses. This is so important. Whenever you hear the news of war, conflict somewhere, it is not for you to enter into frustration. It's an invitation for you to participate with us. It's an invitation for you to step into hope. And your first step to hope is download the manual. It is free. Also, on Facebook, we've got some discussions going on there right now. That's Well Peace to a Lifetime in Facebook. We have it on Snapchat and Instagram, World Peace in Our Lifetime. So all of these, some conversations are going on. Join in and let's all start discussing. And if you want to make a positive difference in life, this is your opportunity to partner with us with all of the needed resources you have available for us to take it forward. Somebody asked me, would you be willing to surrender your knowledge to somebody who has the money to do it all? I say, well, peace in our lifetime is not my property. It is for the world. I do not need any credit for downloading the knowledge. I'm only a channel. I'm not the wisdom. I'm feeling the fulfillment in me. So if you have the resources, come and take it. Let me give you all of the needed wisdom and knowledge. It's not my property. It belongs to you. So you must participate, and it is free.
Wow. So, Brother Ishmael, you mentioned the Iraqi war and the amount of money that went into that war. But looking at it, there are certain interests that want to promote conflicts around the world to make profit, to provide jobs for people back in their homes and allow people to make more money. So, can you come against these forces with the World Peace Manual and the strategy of having peace in this world when they are looking more at the economic benefits that they are going to have?
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. You know what? In my lifetime, I have seen the Cold War between the East and the West dissolve. In my lifetime, I have seen the Berlin Wall come down. In my lifetime, I have seen apartheid dismantled. In my lifetime, I've seen a man of color in the White House. In my lifetime, I've seen grassroots movements topple governments. They were not having capital. Using social media, they toppled government. Grassroots movements. This message is for the whole world, and I believe, therefore, that grassroots, as this situation may seem, it will topple ignorance, change the course of civilization, for us to celebrate diversities in oneness. It is possible. If grassroots movements did it, then it is already possible. When people now wake up to the vision for world peace, and they start keying the vision of world peace, then they will not need you to come and sell ammunition to their nations for them to fight. Because when nations now answer to the question, what is the Ghana that I want to have? What is the Africa that I want to have? And we're now passionate about moving towards that possible world, that world that is possible. We will no more be thinking of what guns, super guns do we need to kill one another. So you will no more be able to sell those ammunitions to those nations. You will now need to think of, in what ways now do I create more funds? Probably, in what ways now do I use my resources to create games about world peace so people now buy? So they will now start selling new guns.
Yes.
Now these are the guns of peace. Let me put it in that way. They will now be selling instruments that will lead to peace. Check today. There are computer games our children play, and all they do is to kill and get scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we change the games so they do something that is caring and they get score? At the end of the game, they win score because they win some grades because they've done some more acts of caring, joy, support, counseling, and so on. We can create such games. We can have the storytellers to create games about how somebody was thinking of hurting a community and poisoning the water upstream, and the poison came to their waters too.
Yeah.
So they couldn't drink their own waters.
Yeah.
Such stories can be created by the storytellers. The anthropologists can know how the story can be carved to fit into the culture of the people. Same story can fit into various cultures, depending upon the way it is written and the images used. So they can still make money, but in different ways. They've not been taught other ways of making money, so all they think of is sell ammunition, promising, I'll sell you more guns. And the nation feels so good that, now we'll get more powerful guns from the gun creators. You know the story of Nobel? I heard
Yes,
that story.
yes.
And I've not verified it, but I believe it is true.
It's true.
That he was actually the one who invented dynamite.
Yes.
And it was then used to kill, blast, and so on. And unfortunately, his brother died. But when the newsman or the newspaper will publish, they published that the man who created the greatest instrument for destruction, something like that, had died. And then he woke up to say, is that all the world will remember me for as the destroyer, the man who created the destruction? I believe you know the story I'm talking
Yes, yes.
about. And he said, no, now he wants to use all of his resources towards peace. Tomorrow, the world will say, what will we remember your country by? Are we going to remember your country by the number of ammunitions you created, destructive weapons of mass destruction? Is that what we are going to be praised for tomorrow? Nations must now begin to think that posterity will judge them not by their ability to destroy, but their abilities to build.
So, Brother Ishmael, someone may ask, isn't man naturally disposed to aggression, and that being brute is a natural predisposition of man? And if you look at the history of humanity, it's full of conflicts and wars all over. And how can we have world peace if in history there has never been peace on this planet?
I love the question. You know what's happening? There was a time when we were with our cousins. When I say our cousins, I mean the animals. All races, all tribes. We were a few years ago with our cousins, the animals. So the law at the time was fight and flee. You have to fight for food. You have to fight to secure yourself or run away from danger. I believe we have evolved quite substantially to where we are now. And we are now in the evolutionary stage where we must now channel our evolution towards the inner development, the inner awakening of what we're really crying for. We no more flying, we no more fleeing, we no more fleeing for food, we no more running away for food. We now know how to use our internal resources to create food and to create wealth. And the only problem is that we need to know how to use those resources to create wealth in a way that fulfills us. Because all the wealth we are creating is not fulfilling us. You feel peace within, but you are not experiencing it in a way that fulfills you. And the peace number is only saying you can now have that inner fulfillment. Because peace is not outside you. It is not an event to happen in future. It is a culture you have to create and experience in your world now. So yes, we've had so many wars, conflicts, when we were vibrating more like the animal bodies we were using. I use that with many. When we were vibrating more with animal bodies that we were using, but I don't think you want to be called an animal any longer. So if you are human, let us do what is human. We must now give the peace we feel within a voice. Let the peace you feel within sing. When you have the vision for world peace, character for world peace, then there will be music in you singing. Your inner music will be in harmony with the outer music, and your life is a celebration.
We've heard a lot about this peace manual, and it is interesting to know that peace is an innate activity, and each and every individual can activate it from within. Brother Ishmael, it looks like nations are interested in gaining power, and therefore would want to conquer, brutalize others in manners so that they show their superiority over others. How do you bring your peace ideation in line with this?
You will even hear people boasting that our ancestors pounced on this village and conquered them, beat them, killed all of them. And then they feel proud about it. I say, don't feel proud that your ancestors brutalized another tribe or people and killed them. You must be apologetic and apologize for them. There's nothing special in reaction or being angry. Anybody knows how to react. It takes power not to react. Power is your ability not to react, but to respond. And see, when you react, you are acting the error, the pain, the stupidity, the foolishness you saw in a much bigger way. But when you respond, response means you are, by what is happening, showing forth what you are. When there is darkness, the response to darkness is light. So you switch on the light. So when there is pain, there's confusion, power is your ability to switch on the light of the love in you, the peace, the understanding, the creativity, and manage all things to sound like your innermost belief, your innermost person. So if you're a peaceful person, then if somebody even were to offend you, ask yourself, in what way do I take steps and actions that will bring more of my peace nature, my loving nature, my kind nature? When you brutalize nations and destroy them, that is no power. That is, every animal knows how to do that. And it's simply barbaric.
Yes.
And today we are having modern barbarism. You see, when nations can boast of their weapons of mass destruction, they can destroy most. It means you are barbaric most. We need to really define things as they truly are. So that's no power. Again, when you come to the individuals and groups, there's always this negative competition of I'm better than you, I'm greater than you.
Yeah.
You see, we all do not have the same starting point and the same destinations. So how can you be greater than me when we are not having the same journey? Excellence is not when you beat somebody in the race or in the life subject. Excellence is when you outmatched your previous achievements. Therefore, nobody can be greater than you or than another. You cannot be greater than another. We can be greater with, not greater than. So we need to improve English now and talk about I'm greater with you, because when I partner with you, we can both achieve more than our individual achievements.
Sure.
I may achieve 10 miles, we achieve 10 miles or 11 miles, but when we partner, we can individually, in that collective body, achieve 40 miles. So now we have become greater with one another. We don't become greater than. Similarly, we don't become better than, we become better with. When we understand this language, even in our relationships, then you know that in the marriage, nobody is to take the glory or the credit. Even in marriage, partners are fighting to have more credit from their children. You see, the man wants to have more credit, the woman wants to have more credit from their children, because I'm doing better than or greater than, but it's better with and greater with. So we need to understand that. And we need to understand that, you see, the drive for heroism is actually a mediocrity complex. It is not superiority complex at all. I call it the mediocrity complex. A powerful person does not need to broadcast or advertise it. The sun shines in its power and glory. It does not need you to go and tell it, you are shining, you are not shining. It knows it itself. You see, we need to understand that you are already powerful, and you don't need anybody to be compared with for your power to be determined. You are the reason the earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour to give you night and day. You are the reason it's going round the sun at 67,000 miles an hour to give you the seasons. You are the reason the air is breathing all of life right now. So you are already powerful, you're already important, but you cannot be powerful or important than anything or anybody. So you can only be powerful and greater with everything and with everybody. And in that, it's always a win-win.
Fred,
we need
this
to change
alone,
English, improve English.
Fred, this alone, I think when applied, can bring world peace. Greater with, better with, instead of greater than, because when I think you're greater than me, I would try to fight you, compete with you, attack you, and also prove where I am better off.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it gives room for cooperation, where you and I put our mind together to do something bigger than the two of us separately. There's so much wisdom in what he's just said.
And always, everything we have is actually two or more people doing something bigger and better than what they could have achieved individually. The mobile phone you are holding has come from thousands of people that predate history, including those who your ancestors conquered and beat. So those you beat, they are making it possible for you to have the mobile phone.
Yeah.
The rubber came from somewhere, the iron came from somewhere, the gold came from somewhere, the chip manufacturing came from somewhere, the assembling came from, and it goes on. So there's never better than anybody else. There's always better with you. And when we understand this, we shall always be seeking ways to be better with people. And we shall be gelling and gelling more and more.
And when you conquer and beat someone, you never have peace yourself. Because you have to keep that person.
The conqueror is enslaved by the conquered.
Yes.
Whoa. That's deep.
Yes.
How?
The conqueror is enslaved by the conquered, because if you conquer a person, the fundamental passion and drive, the gift of every human, is to live free. He or she will be fighting you for his or her freedom. So you, the conqueror, you are no more available to even enjoy your conquest. You are always thinking of ways to keep your conquest under suppression. So you are not available to enjoy your own thinking, your own feeling, and your life. So you are a prisoner to those you have conquered. You are a slave. You are thinking of what to do next with them. But there will always be insurrections, and you always be trying to quench some coup d'etats, all right, and so on. So you are never free.
There's great wisdom here, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you watched a prison warden walking with a prisoner on the street before?
Yeah.
And then the prison warden has a chain on his hand linked to the prison. So both of them are what? Prisoners.
Yes.
All right. So we need to teach the world different. And as you can see, it's very simple, isn't it?
Very.
You see, world peace in our lifetime is just a slight shift in consciousness, a slight shift in the way we are doing things that will fulfill you. It is not for you to have something different. It is to do what will fulfill what you are already desiring. We are all desiring this peace already. Like I said, you can't desire what you do not know. If we plan to fly, you tell me, oh, we didn't know how to fly, but we're now flying. We know how to fly. We saw it in the birds.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah.
You can't decide what you don't know.
Yes.
Because we could see birds flying and we know it, then we could ask ourselves, in what way were they flying?
Yes.
They weigh heavier than a feather and they are flying.
Yeah.
So then it gave us the foundation to ask the questions. Then we are able also to fly.
Okay.
But deep within you cannot seek what you don't know. So anybody seeking peace is already loaded with peace. And that peace, I'm seeking peace means I want a way to give voice and music to the peace I feel within. You are not actually seeking it. You are actually finding a way for you to express it.
So you are meaning that the things that we acquire do not give us peace.
No.
Money and all the things, material things that we have are not sufficient for us to have peace. That brings to mind the third item in the formula for world peace, schooling the senses. Can you elaborate more on that?
That is it. You know, whenever there is an epidemic, we normally apply 3 levels of management. We have the tertiary or the third stage management, then we have the secondary management, then we have the primary that manages the fundamental causes. At the tertiary or third level management, what we do is that if you are having cholera as the epidemic, please rush to the hospital immediately. So you go to the hospital, they have the treatment so you don't die. That's tertiary management. Then we come to the secondary management. That will tell you that wash your hands, all right, whenever you are going to eat, boil your food, and so on. So there's a massive campaign about the cholera itself to sensitize people, educate people about the cholera. But when you go to the primary management, you are now addressing the fundamental causes. Clear the environment of the field. Remove the field from the environment. So there will be no cholera in the first place. So whether I touch something or not, because it's not filthy, there's no possibility of me getting some pathogens contaminated with any pathogens or any disease. All right. So we are free. These are the 3 levels of management in every state of epidemic. When it comes to world peace, whenever there is conflict, we have some sketchy management of it, and then that is all. There's no real pragmatic issue to manage it at the 3rd level. So, for example, the Middle East is still boiling. Yeah. And the war did not start yesterday. It's been there for a very long time. If it had been managed properly, even at the 3rd level, we would have probably had peace in the Middle East. And there's no campaign in the Middle East teaching them how to live in peace. None. Rather, nations are preparing themselves how to respond to the next fight. You see, we are living by an old paradigm that we need to outgrow. The old paradigm states that if you want peace, you must prepare for war. The old Roman paradigm. We must change it. If we want peace, you must prepare for peace. When it comes to the primary level of management for peace, there is virtually nothing. And that's where the senses come in. Contrary to what people think, the problem of inner conflict to outer conflict is all very simple and closer to you than you think. It is our senses. It is none of the isms of tribalism, racism, communism, capitalism, and all of the isms. It is the senses. The problem is with the senses. That's why the World Peace Manual is providing the fundamental correction, the fundamental solution. The sense of sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing, these are living forces within you. And there is virtually no education to let us know. So if we are fighting communism versus capitalism, as was in the Cold War, it was useless. The senses we have been given to us by nature, by life, to celebrate variety. Without variety, there is no life. If your body were all eye, then it is not a body.
Yeah.
The heart must have the liver, the kidney, and everything connects with everything. If the body is all heart, then there's no body. When the heart prays that it lives on, it will die. For the heart to pray to live on, it must seek that the liver, the kidney, the bile, and every other organ in the body must also live. But we are not having this vision that the senses were given to us to celebrate variety. And variety depends on oneness. All of life is animated by one life. Instead of using the senses to celebrate variety, we use the senses to compartmentalize variety into groups and set each group against the other. And that's where the language of one group is better than, greater than, starts coming in. So the problem is with the senses. The senses see separation, and the senses see scarcity. And these are the 2 forces which, when brought together, cause all of the problem. When the senses see separation, then it will say that the white man is different from the black man. You see, you cannot tell the senses that tomato and pepper are the same just because they are red. Sense of sight will say one is oval and the other is round and the other is oblong and so on. And sense of taste will say one is hot and the other one is sweet. So senses see separation. We take the senses for granted. It is what you see, smell, taste, touch, and hear that offends you and makes you react. So when you are sense-driven, you will always be reactionary because sense only sees the appearance. But though you are seeing my body, without something that animates me, I cannot live. But senses need to be in harmony with what animates it For it even to see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. And what animates my senses, breath, for example, is what animates each one of us too. Such that we are all having different shapes of noses, but we are all breathing the same air. But senses see separation, so you can't tell the sense that the black man and the white man are the same. Unless we school the senses to see that the black man, the white man, the yellow skin, the red man, we are all being animated by the same force. And the senses work with evidence and facts. So all it takes is for us to educate the senses. School. I don't want to use the word educate. It's a milder word. We have to what? School the senses to know that life without diversity is dead. And diversity is not meaning one against the other, but diversity is that all are animated, all are sustained by oneness. So like I said, we are all having different shapes of nostrils or noses, but we are all breathing the same air. So whether you are a white man, yellow-skinned man, red man, we are all having the same force animating us. In what way can you be greater than me when we are all animated by the same one force? And we need similar evidences for the senses. And when we overwhelm the senses with the evidences of oneness, such as whatever your skin color, we are all having the same color of blood, red.
Yeah.
All right? And no matter where you are, we all receive the same sun. So we are all having the same sun. So there is oneness. We need to educate the senses on there is oneness. And we are one with the oneness that is. This simple education must go to the senses with facts and evidences. In the Peace Manual, I've outlined a few examples. But when we go beyond the Peace Manual to the applications, we have many other examples to use to school the senses. And these can easily be incorporated into the school systems. We all want peace. Every nation wants peace, but there's nothing in the school systems that is teaching peace.
Yeah.
How can we hope to have peace when we are not preparing for peace? We are preparing for survival. Today, the education is about just survival. You are attaining skills and knowledge to survive. But you see, the gorilla did not go to university. It survives. So survival must not be the only drive of humanity. Beyond survival, we want to live. And somebody will work, have the skills, make lots of money, have all the money in the world. But let me tell you, nothing you have belongs to you. You will eventually have to give it out to serve life.
Yeah.
So I hear people saying, oh, he's now giving back to society. He's made so much money, he's giving back to society. He has no choice. Everything you have will be given back to society anyway. Because one day you will exit this body and leave it all behind to be given to society. So we are here to evolve for the promotion of life. So our knowledge system needs to change. Our education system needs to change to enable us to evolve. Else, education today is about education. And where education means receiving external knowledge to condition you. I have my own construct. It's called inducation. Inducation. Knowledge that comes from within to make you grow out. Otherwise, we are all what I call PRT, patterned reproductive thinkers. When there's any problem, you want to think of what I learned in school, what mama told me, what dada told me. You see, I can go on if you really allow me. Because we are just patterned reproductive thinkers. There is nothing that makes us birth what we are within. I mean, did life create us without some loaded resources? But there's no education that enables us to activate our innate loaded potentials. So we only learn of the knowledge system around, and if it is cruel, if it's brutal, we just follow it. So education of the senses, the schooling of the senses, will take us to education, which will enable us now to start living from within. Because the material will not satisfy you. Everything you have will one day be given to serve life. Better start serving life now.
Brother Ishmael, in this your small discourse, I'm having an insight. Education is the core reason why we are even fighting ourselves, because we're all being trained with one unique curriculum, structure, knowledge, and we all must strive with that same one system ruling us. So somebody wants to be better than somebody with that same knowledge system. But then your construct of education goes line in line with your definition of peace. Identification of innate potential. So if education would help me identify my innate potential, I would not fight you for what all of us have been learned by education. I would want to promote what is innately mine, celebrate it, and be a winner in myself. Then conquer somebody. This is deep and beautiful. So world peace can actually be attained from the individual. Education. Wow.
We do it. One of the programs I have, one of the fundamental programs for world peace that I've created is called Growing the Empowered Child, the formula for world peace. In that program, we encourage children to speak of the world that they believe is possible.
Okay.
You see, even if we just will speak of the world that is possible without doing anything, the world that is possible will enroll us into itself and will begin to manifest it.
Okay.
Today we are living more in the frustration that it is not possible.
True.
But once we step into, if it were possible, what would it be like? It would be different. Have you observed children? Like I told you, I'm a universal citizen. I come from Africa and nature is my teacher. So I observe nature. You find a child having the best toy, enjoying it, and then the child will say, when I grow up, I will do this and I will buy this. So even though the child is having the greater joy, the child has an innate vision of a greater joy. Often as parents, we stop them. Oh, that's child talk. We ignore it. And that is a great fault in humanity because we have not learned how to give education. In Ethereum Mission, my church, we have this program running in the children's class, and we normally group them in a circle of 5 or more, and every child is now given the permission to speak about this world they feel within. Give them a vent, give them a voice. Let them speak what they call the child talk. Now, when you speak about the world you believe is possible, and I speak about mine, and then you speak about yours, then we go under circle, and you show how yours can support mine. I'll say how mine can support yours, how yours can support, and it goes round. This is one of the programs for education. Now they're having the opportunity to speak of what they believe is possible. In another session, you will now have to share in what ways the world you believe in can happen. Now we are making them own that world and be responsible for the manufacture of that beautiful world that is possible. This is education in the process. But we don't think this way. A slight shift in our education system, and we've already have it. Education brings the largest number of people together in a group. Parents can do it. Communities can do it. But today, the competition of better done is making schools, especially in Ghana, not even give children a break to play. It's all about just learn, and pass and beat the other school. It's so wrong. We need education. That's my construct, my new word for the world.
And with that alone, I believe that world peace is indeed possible. Indeed possible, yes.
But coming to think of it, is humanity ready for the kind of sacrifices we have to go through? Letting go. People are benefiting from the current setup. Some people are having power because of the current setup. Some are making a lot of money because of the setup. And if we should introduce this program of world peace where everybody is cooperating, there is no longer competition. I cannot be master over somebody else. Would people be ready to make those sacrifices and enjoy peace together with others?
The truth is yes. Nations building ammunition and selling to other nations, needing to be in power. Watch. It's all resting in the few people at the top. The majority in those nations are not even enjoying that power.
Sure.
So that's where, when grassroots, all of us in the grassroots, key into the vision of world peace, when we agree that just having a vision of world peace is important, and we start talking about it and doing it, those at the top will realize that you just can't have the money for yourself all the time, and that there must be better ways of generating income than creating weapons of mass destruction and so on. So,
again, Brother Ishmael, these same people at the top would want to maintain the status quo.
Grassroots movement toppled governments.
Yeah.
We are more than enough at the grassroots. Those at the top, it's just about 2% or less of humanity is managing the whole of humanity. The 98%, when they key in, and believe me, we need only 10% of humanity agreeing that world peace is possible, and there will be global peace, not individual world peace. There will even be global peace. Because the majority, 98%, are crying. They are fighting with themselves. They are not at peace with themselves. Some have made all of the money and they become prisoners to their wealth. You know what I mean? When even your wealth has not got a purpose that it is fulfilling, you just keep creating wealth and you are afraid of what I lose the wealth, so let me create more wealth. So you have the wealth and now you are thinking of what if I lose it? So you are now protecting it. You are not even available to enjoy your wealth. You are a prisoner to your wealth. So many people are poor in their abundance. It's all just a shift in consciousness. Very slight shift. And when those at the top, their business is to make money, and they realize that the status quo is no more going to give me money because the majority are no more vibrating that way, they will develop new ways of making money. And that's when they will now come to education and ways of creating games, movies that will talk about peace. There have been some movies that talk about I recall one Act of Random Kindness, ARC. Movies like that. And many of them will start coming out. Movies that will make you rejoice. Movies that you watch and you feel like, oh, I have potential. I can also release mine. And they will start directing their energies in those areas. So I can see the possibility.
Beautiful. Going back to schooling of the senses, I realize that it's a whole major project. Schooling of the senses alone. It's a whole major project. And that you mentioned of one program, Growing the Empowered Child, that you have developed, right? And school children use it, institutions use it. What other projects do you have in ways such that schooling of the senses will be so practical to everybody and will be adopted?
I'm happy to state that one of my courseworks, Essential Life Education, is in 2 universities in Malawi now.
Okay.
The Malawi University itself, and then Malawi University of Science and Technology, right? And this book has got all of the tools about the senses.
Okay.
It enables you to find who and what you are and how you operate, so you can cooperate. So when the world now comes to education, then the many tools I have is 2017, and so far I've just 29 published books. And they are all 29 published books.
Wow.
And they all helping humanity to find this inner peace.
Indication.
Yes,
they are all indication
They are
materials.
all indication materials.
Okay.
The way forward will teach you how to live from within and how to understand how life works. This is how life works. Life is about pain. Pain is not about you.
Okay.
Pain is about activating your innate potentials. Teachings like this, it will teach you how you cannot also compete with another because you are not meant to be understood. These are the, and if we'll go there. So when we embrace world peace, the question will be, what are the tools? Already have 29 published works.
Yes.
And over 200 practices and so on. We have games. The word empowerment game. A simple game that children play. with their hands and their feet and singing a song. And when it gets to your turn, you step into the center and then you say a word that describes your innate nature, such as, I am kind, and then you act it. So do you see what is happening? And they enjoy it. In that game, they are learning vocabulary. They are also embodying positive values. But they are only to use positive words. I am kind, I'm generous, I am sweet, I am powerful, I'm alive, I'm creative. Positive words all through. And there are other books I have not published. For example, I have not published the Positive Word Dictionary. I have it. Maybe you may give me some funds so I can publish that book. The Positive Word Dictionary. I hired a team, went through the dictionary to search for positive words and how to use the positive words. What we call the feeling tone words. I feel, I have, I am. These are the three key words that relate with the inner self. I have makes you feel like you are now solid with yourself and you have something. You have some value. And then I feel takes you to the inner because you're feeling something within. And then I am is your state of being. So we've researched into, my passion has been research into the mind and the spirit. So from 1973, when I came to my awakening, I said to myself, I'm the God of liberty, here to liberate the will of men from servitude of the senses and birth the essential noble person in all. I do this by being a pointer to the potential in people and catalyst for its growth. When I said this in 1973, I had some idea what that meant, but over the years, every day, it becomes clearer and clearer. And today,
can you please restate that? Can you restate it?
I am the God of liberty, here to liberate the will of men from servitude of the senses and birth the essential noble person in all. I do this by being a pointer to the potential in people and catalyst for its growth. So we all evolve into paradise restored.
Wow. I believe from all you're saying, world peace is possible.
You are enjoying me more than
yes.
You see how it's possible?
Why wouldn't I enjoy it? Because I can see the reality of world peace.
What
here.
I am is activating it in you now.
Yes. So greater with, right?
Greater with.
So then we don't enjoy it alone. How do other people get to join these noble projects and be part of this campaign?
I invite you. Our phone numbers will be available on the screen for you to contact us, but I also encourage you to go to the website. Everything you want to know is there. wellpeaceinOurLifetime.com. WellpeaceinOurLifetime.com. And when you get there, please remember to sign the peace manual. So we get 100, 200,000 people saying, we believe world peace is possible. After hearing this, we now believe world peace is possible. Then, with this number of people, we can take it to the UN and say, people have tasted, they've tested, they've heard, and they believe. Can you please partner with us? So together we are greater with and better with. All right? And then Commonwealth and other peace institutions. Many people are promoting peace on the planet, but most of them are just touching the surface. They're doing very well. But I believe we need to address the fundamental issues, such as the census. So far, I've not heard anyone talking about education in the census. So since they mean well, I'm inviting all peace bodies. Please, let's come together. Peace does not belong to you. Don't take any credit that you brought peace to the world. I am not taking any credit. I'm not bringing any peace to the world. I am the peace you are praying for. I'm being the peace I am. And like I shared earlier, all the materials I have, if there is an institution that says, gift it all to me, I have the money, the resources to take it to the world, it's yours. Okay. It doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the planet. So we shouldn't be in this type of human egoism and selfishness. I did this, I did that. All right? So peace bodies, please come together. And when you come to the website, we have some souvenirs. We encourage you to buy the souvenirs so we can generate the funds to support what you are even hearing. So buy some of these souvenirs. You can also donate. So donate your dollars, your pound sterling, your cedis, and let it go to the thousands, the millions, as much as you can, so we can start supporting the little movements we have started already. So you have the opportunity to donate, opportunity to buy some of the items, opportunity to call us through our email, connect with us through email, so we can start discussing ways of moving forward. It is not my material. It is not your material. This is for the world.
Beautiful.
I've only been the channel through which it has come to the planet.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
There is a proverb in a Ghanaian proverb that says that when the chameleon dies on the drum and the drum is mentioned, no, you don't forget to mention the chameleon too. When you join a program as this, wherever the world peace vision expands to, you also in spirit or even in name will be part of this campaign. So this is a noble and audacious project that needs your active participation. But Reshma, even as we are getting people to support and participate in these projects, what about detractors? How do we handle detractors? And naturally, there could be saboteurs who might want to sabotage this. How do we engage them?
Like I shared earlier, if this becomes a grassroots movement, then who are you going to sabotage? Me? Or you are going to sabotage the people in your own country? Or the man next door? Oh, saboteurs will have a lot of job to do.
Yes.
And the best way they will employ themselves is to be part of the team. If you cannot beat them, you join them.
Wow.
Right. So all there is an appealing vision of world peace and getting people to know that it is possible.
Yeah.
Because that's what you've been praying for already.
Yeah.
And once again, you cannot desire what you do not know. If you are desiring peace, you already what? Know it. So you just need somebody to help you know how to speak it out, how to make it into the music. It's already inside you.
Some also believe that we can never have peace here. We have to die and have peace in heaven.
What is heaven? The state of ever evolving and expanding good. Ask anybody who wants to experience heaven that what will heaven be like? Oh, a state of peace. A state of love, joy. Then ask them, where does love come from? Within. So where can you have peace? Within. So why don't you start heaven now?
Okay.
If you go to sleep and you don't know algebra, you cannot wake up knowing algebra. So if you sleep ignorant, you will wake up ignorant. If you die and you don't die in peace, you will wake up, whatever wealth that will be, you will not wake up in that peace. You have to start experiencing the peace now. That's why the great Yeshua, who the world called Jesus, in his beatitude, the first one he said is that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Not those who are peaceful, not those who want to save their skin, be peaceful, I don't want trouble, but those who are peacemakers means you have to be proactive, take steps, initiative, dare the world, dare look at the face of impossibility. Dare talk about it.
Yeah.
Somebody even asked me a question that am I not afraid that those who have the ammunitions, because I'm very proactive, they will kill me? And I said, if you kill me, you will not kill the dream. You see, noble people never die with their dreams. Their dreams outlive them. Right? So I'm just living the life. And if you kill me today, I will not be there for you to kill tomorrow. I will die once anyway. So I'm okay to even die now. And I'm sorry, they should have killed me long ago before I was born. But now, the message is so out that nothing can be done about it. Right?
Okay.
So,
Brother Ishmael, when it comes to the religious frontier, right? We have most religions or religious leaders promoting that their way of practice, teaching, is that which would lead to peace or lead people to heaven. But then, listening to you, I believe that the solution would even have been long overdue if they had known this wisdom of better with. If Christians knew that together with Muslims, we can promote harmony, peace. What do you think, Brother Ishmael?
You are certainly right. You said it all. And when you go into Christianity, let me go even to what the Christian Bible says. It said when Jesus resurrected, his greetings was what? Peace be unto you. Islam says, greet everybody saying what? Peace be unto you. How can two peace people now be fighting?
Okay.
So it's not their religion, it's now the humanness that have not been solved. That's why I said that the problem is not our religion, it's not our communism, it is more fundamental. It is the senses. So the senses now compartmentalize that my religion is better than your religion. And when you go to Islam, you go to Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, they are all seeking the same thing, peace. They are all seeking love, harmony, relating with one another. Instead of focusing on the practice of the religion. If Christianity has taught us love, in what way do I practice love? If Islam is teaching peace, what do I practice peace? Rather, I will say, my teacher, Jesus, is the highest. You see the senses.
Yeah.
The senses now see the name Jesus sounding better than Muhammad. And they see Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, sounding better than Krishna. Sense of hearing. Look, tribalism is nothing but senses. Language is a piece of sound agreed by two or more people to mean something to them. So how can sound? Sound means taking the air, which animates both of us, and modulating it in a way through my throat and mouth. The same air.
Yes.
Do you understand? The one air that I live on, you live on, I take it into me, then I push it out in a particular way to make some sound. And then we agree that if I make this sound, it means come. So come, that is English. How do you say it in your language?
Bra.
How do you say it in your language?
Ba.
So, look at you. You say, instead of saying come, you say what? Bra. And ba, that becomes reason for conflict. So now you are a tribe, and you are a tribe. Then senses say, because we are speaking different language from me, we are now separate. So senses see what? Separation. So it's all coming from there. Because you pray to God, putting your forehead on the ground, and I pray to God, clasping my hand, senses see that as separate, one from the other. Ask the Muslim, putting your head on the ground, what does it mean? It means I'm prostrating, humbling myself, respecting my king. Ask the Indian who used to greet this way. What does the clasping of the hand means? It means I respect you, I honor you. Ask the soldier who will probably pray to God, salute you. What does it mean? God is the supreme general, say. They are all saying the same things. But because senses see separation, senses will not see the unity of the message. It only sees the outer garment of the same message. And then they fight themselves based on the outer garment instead of the unity of the message. But Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, they are all teaching the same thing in different ways.
So in effect, there is so much folly in our world today, where my grandfathers or our ancestors or our fathers before us had some enmity because they've been led astray by the senses. Then I choose to continue this enmity, not even understanding what senses led them astray. That's what you're saying, Brother Ishmael.
Yes.
And that makes it look so simple that we should wise up and get out of these boxes of where the senses are putting us. Yeah.
So who is running your life? Your soul, your spirit, or your senses?
The senses.
We are either sense-led or spirit-led. And we need to find a common ground. That's all it takes. Look, you go to the shop. You knew exactly what you wanted to buy. You got there, and if you are a sense of sight person, you saw something else that has not got a specification of what you want. But it looks beautiful to the eyes. You end up buying it.
It happens.
It happens. Then you got home to realize it's not what I want. Let me take it back. And that tells you that you are controlled by what? The senses.
And
Sense
not
of
just
sight.
our senses, but the senses of our ancestors, the senses of our parents,
Of
the
our
senses
friends.
of our teachers, friends all over.
I see something, I look at it in a particular way, and I convince you to see it the way my senses have told me it is. And you also now agree, you follow me. So the world it's all fundamental, isn't it?
Very.
It's very fundamental and so simple. Education, schooling. Sorry if I use education. I say what? Schooling of the senses. But we have waited for so long that we don't need education. We need what? Schooling of the senses. Discipline. A clear-cut discipline in a fun way for the senses. Over a year, 2, 3, and things will change.
No matter your circumstances in life, no matter the belief systems you hold, you need peace inside of you. This is a journey we are embarking on, and we need your input. You can contribute and support in any way. The onus is on you to rise up and say that I am for world peace. Do not look at detractors. You need not look at those who think it's not possible. There is a first time for everything. There was the first time when somebody thought that we can fly. And he might have thought it in mind, and somebody else executed it. Today we have planes flying, which some 100 years back people thought were not possible. Same way, the idea of world peace has come. It is for you to embrace and walk the journey of possibility now. You need to join us and make this a reality in your lifetime. Brother Ishmael, at this stage, the issue of rejection, there's possibility of people humiliating you or rejecting this whole noble cause. Are you ready to suffer rejection and humiliation for world peace?
Everybody is entitled to what they choose to feel. And humiliation and rejection are not some of the feelings I would want to feel. You are entitled to do what you want to do, to disbelieve and ridicule. The normal human nature is that whatever they cannot understand, they ridicule and they laugh it to scorn, thinking that in so doing, they are showing supremacy instead of just childishness. So it's normal for people not to see the possibilities you see. Because the possibility, the dream is in the mind of the dreamer. And nobody sees the mind of the dreamer. So if they don't see the possibilities I see in my mind, in my consciousness, it's normal. When the Wright brothers will think of flying an aircraft, I believe they might have been ridiculed, but the possibilities lies always in the mind of the dreamer. And it's normal if somebody does not understand or does not appreciate and believes that instead of being wise, to be wise is to ask, in what way can it happen? Instead of ridiculing it. When you ridicule it, that's not the way of wisdom. Right? But many people choose that way. If they ridicule, they humiliate, the humiliation, the ridicule, the rejection is inside them, not inside me. I don't think it's something I want to choose to feel. And because I work with my senses, I have the right to choose my feelings. Part of the program of World Peace will help people know how to choose their feelings. Everything you desire in life is to satisfy a feeling. You want a good wife to feel good. You want a great car to feel good. And if I can choose the good feeling without the material things, then I'm the richest on the planet. So I don't have rejection and humiliation. They wouldn't be part of my consciousness.
Okay. We're looking at you promoting world peace. And for now, I think I'm roped in it already. And I'm part of that dream. And would want to think that you promoting this, what have you done from home? Your natural background.
You mean my country?
Your country, your very small environment. What have you done? Chieftaincy disputes, conflicts, the nation, especially during election period. What have you done to promote this knowledge of peace?
Okay, let me start it this way. I have a choice to focus on the conflicts or to focus on the possibilities of peace. So, focusing on the conflict has not been so much my attention. However, knowing that we need to respect the tertiary management as well as the secondary and the fundamental. My main passion is on the fundamental. But I've given some attention to the tertiary. For example, I've discussed with some priests in this country the possibilities of us coming together and forming a new base to help some of the chieftaincy disputes with some proposals of the need for constitutionalized democracy for our chieftaincy. I believe you might have read some in one Graphic article. Graphic is the biggest newspaper in this country. I made a publication on how to democratize chieftaincy, because a chief comes into power and stays on for the rest of his life. Even if the chief happens to be invalid as a result of some disease or something, he still is the chief for life. And I don't believe this is right. So I give some directions that need to have chieftaincy that can last for maybe 30 years or 25 years at the maximum. And the need for us to elect our chiefs based on some qualifications in this modern time. And normally in most communities in Ghana, chieftaincy is elected from one house to the other house. So the need for you to know that these are the qualifications needed for a person to be a chief. If we get to the turn of your house, you don't have the right person, it moves to the next house, and you don't have the right to come back until it has gone round. This would mean you have to give the right education and education to your people so they are always right. This will promote right competition, education competition, where we are now growing powerful with one another, and so on. Because when I know this chief will be in power for the rest of his life, then it means I don't know when he will die. And that alone creates internal confusion. And again, the person may run out of ideas, so it's not really psychologically, sociologically healthy for the community. So I propose this. So these are some of the things I have done for this nation. And such proposals have gone to the National House of Chiefs. We've sent them some of these proposals and so on. So at the tertiary level, these are some things. We've not moved very much ahead to finish with the Ghana state as I really started. Because most times, the ministers I'm to work with, each one is very busy, traveling and so on. We never formed the quorum to ground it. So that's why I put some of the information in the national newspaper. So it will be heard by everybody that there is a way. So we are working on that front.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But as I said, my main game is what? The fundamental. So I provide this while working at the fundamental. And let me share this. Ethereum Mission was founded around me in 1975. Ethereum means heaven. So you see, it started with, let's experience heaven, experience peace here and now. If heaven is a state of ever-evolving and expanding good, expanding love, joy, peace, wisdom, creativity, then that's the name of my church, founded around me. It's a long story how it was founded around me. But the Ethereum is the clear example of world peace. It's an empirical evidence of the possibilities of world peace. One of the cameramen shooting this particular program for us is a Muslim. On the Ethereum calendar, we have a program called All Faiths Day, where we invite Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, everybody. Because the Ethereum mission is the oneness of life. And we all worship God together, praise God together. Every Ethereum will feel comfortable going to the mosque, the traditional shrine, the Hindu temple. They are at peace with themselves and with the world around them. And if we have, let's say, 1,000 active Ethereans, we are the empirical evidence of the world citizens of peace on the planet right now. The Ethereum is at peace. So that is a clear example at home. What we have created, and we have a branch in the UK and my US branch that carries the teaching to the international communities known as conscious humanity. So you see world peace being promoted by Ethereum Mission and conscious humanity. So fundings right now are coming from just these two bodies founded around me to promote this teaching to the world.
Sounds great. Meaning that practical programs are going on right from home. It's encouraging to know that.
We've had a very wonderful session explaining a lot of things about our projects, our movements, world peace in our lifetime. You can see this is not far-fetched if you look at the life of children. Children answer to the three core items in our formula for world peace. Children always have a vision of what they will do when they grow up. Ask any child, oh, I'm going to build a big house and bring so many people into it. I'll build a house for grandpa. I'm going to buy this for that. It's their vision of doing something to support somebody else. You watch children and you find that naturally they have certain character. A child is so loving. Even the smile of the child draws you in. The laughter of the child makes you want to carry the child. People want to play around children because they are the embodiment of a certain character, peaceful character. You see a child sleeping and you see peace. When you talk about the senses, put a white child and a black child together, they don't see any difference. They just see another child they are playing with. Children do not know about religion. For them, everything is alive. Even the toy, inanimate toy is alive. They will talk to the toy. They will talk to the adult. They see oneness in life. So if we want to learn our peace and the practicality of this movement and our what the peace manual says, look at the life of children. They simply demonstrate this. So open up to the child inside of you that has always been crying before you got to become a religious person, before you became schooled in certain belief systems. Go back to your childhood and start growing and expressing from there. God bless you. Join us in this wonderful, audacious movement for world peace.
Wow. So great and inspiring. And one thing I have observed, he spoke a lot about children. I am taking some children in a school through guidance and counseling, and one program I'm running with them was to create their vision, the world they want to have. The world they want to have. But first, I started with them. What do you see this world that we live in? Describe it. Some of the answers that came out was, the world we live in is not like what God created it. Meaning, they have a vision of what God created this world to be. The world is not fair. The world there's injustice. The world is cruel. The world is bad. Children at this stage, between ages of 6 to 10 and 13, would describe the world as this, meaning that our children are even experiencing pain, but inside of them, they have a vision of something they want to experience. And from there, I asked them, so now, what world would you want to have? Create your world so that in the midst of all this confusion, you can go in there the way they would describe their world, a world in which we feel each one is for one another, a world in which we play and share with one another, a world in which we are friends with one another, and some would even go to the extent of drawing it, a world in which Muslims and Christians are all one people, children speaking this way, meaning that the children even have a greater vision than we, the elders, the leaders who are seeming to promote world peace. And we've got it all wrong. Inside of everybody wants to feel accepted and warm, but we do the opposite. We rather want to suppress one another to feel more important than the other person.
The disease.
And it is sad to see this being expressed all around. And when we go on in this way, certainly world peace will not be achieved. But then there's something I have learned in today's discussion. When we learn from within and help to relate with one another, feel better with, greater with one another, there's no way I would want to make my person I want to feel better with feel bad. I'll do everything to promote the other person for him or her to feel good, and him feeling good, I feel greater. Yeah. So it is the onus lies on me in making people around me feel great and good in themselves. So we have, each and everyone has a responsibility in making the other person feel good, the other person feel joyful, the other person feeling loving, and together we shall all create humans of loving, joyful, sharing, caring generation. And I believe it is the starting point of world peace. It's as simple as we can. When you can simply create smile, such that the next person sitting by you will smile back at you. It's just as simple as that. Let's begin to robe ourselves in this world. Peace is possible in our lifetime, and certainly we shall all experience a beautiful and a heaven here on earth.
It looks like we are having the heaven right now. Heaven is here right now. And it is also okay to be divinely selfish. There I go again, yes. It's okay to be divinely selfish. But be selfish in a way that you experience self-wholeness. That's what you want. For what noble and progressive reasons do I have for me, for the thoughts I'm thinking? For what noble and progressive reasons do I have for me, for the thoughts I'm thinking? If the thoughts I'm thinking about you, about my wealth, is not noble and progressive, I am not at peace with myself. So for me to be at peace with myself and enjoy me, I always need to ask me, for what noble and progressive reasons do I have for the thoughts I am thinking, for the feelings I am nursing, for the actions I'm going to take? And when the thoughts and the feelings and the actions I'm taking is for my self-wholeness, it is infectious. Goodness is infectious.
Yes.
Instantly, it will call forth similar good out of other, till you become a body of good that simply rains and showers goodness on others. And world peace is already here. Join us. You've heard it all, and the possibilities are now in your hands. But you see, one of my teachings in Principle 3 of the book The Way Forward tells you that the dream is in the mind of the dreamer. But the moment you see the dream and the possibilities of the dream, you have become a co-dreamer. And it is now incumbent on you, the co-dreamer, to make the dream happen as the first dreamer. It's no more the possession of the dreamer. It's now your possession. World peace in our lifetime is now your property, your possession. And if you don't make it work, then you carry your own heavy load. If you make it work, then you are enjoying it. If the waters cannot be contained in the dam and you contain it, it's going to overflow. If the waters must flow as the river, let it flow. World peace is seeking to sink itself like a river that is kissing the shores of many lands through your soul. Allow it to sink, kiss the shores of other lands, and carry the nutrients to create a fertile land in yonder spot where the world is craving for it. Peace be your life.